Okay, so I'm going to have very controversial takes in this episode, but you can argue with me in the comments. I don't care. This is my channel, and I will say what I want to say, but you can argue with me all you want. So this intro is beautiful, but I don't like it. If they were going to keep the old intro song, what they should have done was an extended version of the song so they could slow this shit down and actually show people what's on these locks. You can't see it. They go way too fast. But yeah, it moves entirely way too fast, and I just could not tell what they were until I saw someone on Twitter break it down. And I will link that Twitter post in the description of this video if you guys want to see it. Yeah, but they're representing bloodlines and the lineage of the Targaryens leading up to current events. I'm wondering if it'll change throughout the show once people get married and whatnot, but we'll see. I also noticed that these locks look similar to the lock that was used in Season 2 to open Zarzo and Dax's vault. He also mentioned that it was made of Valyrian stone, which is interesting as well. So maybe that's on purpose. I don't know, you guys have to tell me what you think, along with you yelling at me for my hot takes, which I will get to in a little bit. So we start off with seeing the crab feeder, who looks like he has jacked up skin. I'm thinking maybe grayscale, but I honestly don't want everything to come back to grayscale because there are other diseases. But if he has grayscale, then it makes sense because his skin definitely looks like that. But he also looks like he's wearing a harpy mask. So that could be a possibility because the harpies were like a mythological creature in Essos, and that's why you saw like that giant harpy statue being taken down in season 5 when Daenerys inhabited the pyramid. So yeah, it's a huge possibility that that is a harpy mask. That is not why I wanted to talk about this scene though. I really just wanted to shout out the special effects people because these crabs look real. I don't know how long it took to render each and every one of these little crabs, but they look so good. And also the lighting is so beautiful for such a horrific scene. Like, the scenery itself is just beautiful. And I love that juxtaposition. It's just so well done. And shout out to the special effects people and the cinematographers, because damn. Next, we see Alicent and Viserys talking about Valyria. The model seems to have had some additions on it, but we first get to see this part right here, which honestly looks like Valyria's version of public housing, which is odd. But a lot of people have been saying that what Viserys is holding in his hand is the Inaugurion that he mentions, but it's actually a building that he's speaking of. I also was watching an interview that History of Westeros did with Ryan Condal, who was the showrunner. Ryan Condal stated that this model is actually pretty accurate. There are some things that are going to be subject to change if they ever do a show about Valyria, but they said that since it's based off of maps and text that Viserys has been reading, it's actually pretty accurate. This next sequence with Alicent and Rhaenyra is one of the most beautifully lit scenes I have ever seen in my life. It is absolutely gorgeous. And they are walking through the Grand Sept and not the Great Sept of Baelor, because like I said in my last video, that has not been built yet. But this scene is actually really nice. I love their friendship. I just wish that Alicent could like tell Rhaenyra the reason why she knows all these things about her dad and why their relationship is so estranged. But yeah, it's really nice. I just wish that they could talk more, like buddies, like besties. This scene is very odd to me, and it's not because there are maggots just eating dead, rotted skin off of Viserys' finger, but something is going on with him. It has been 6 months since he got cut, and they haven't chopped that finger off, and it's gotten this bad? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, the fact that he has 2 separate wounds that just will not heal is just not okay. It's very sus. It's very sus. Like, there's a popular theory going around that someone's, like, lacing the throne with poison. I don't know if someone's actually doing that, but maybe these maesters are not giving him the proper treatment for a hidden reason. Maybe they have some kind of motive behind them. Who knows? I do find it very odd that him and Sir Otto keep exchanging these looks. Like in the very first episode, Otto told him that they shouldn't talk about his wound and how it's not healing and no one else should know about it. I just find it very sus. We gotta keep an eye on these maesters. Something's going on. Okay, this is it. This is where everyone's gonna get real fucking pissed at me. So I think Viserys should have married Laena Velaryon. I know she's young. She's extremely young. She's a baby. And it's fucked up. But we're talking about A Song of Ice and Fire here. This isn't fucking Sesame Street. We know this shit is jacked up. Daenerys was 13 years old when she married Khal Drogo in the books. It's really fucked up, man. I mean, there's no other way around it, but it was the right political move to make. It really would have settled things in the realm. And he also just makes another mistake later on, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But we need to talk about how cute Laena Velaryon was, because she is adorable, just straight up. That's just facts. She's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And she is super concerned about Vhagar and where Vhagar's whereabouts are. And I think it's just the sweetest thing in the world that she's just so worried about this very lonely dragon. It's just so cute. But to add to this, it is really nice to see Viserys visibly discomforted by all this. He's just looking at her like, ugh, like, is this really what I'm gonna have to do? Because I don't want to do it. Now this shit with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys is exactly what I missed about Game of Thrones. Like, I feel like the scenes with Cersei and Sansa's just sitting there listening attentively while Cersei's just pretty much monologuing, is what I felt like this show was missing in the first episode. And I get that, like, we're only 2 episodes in, but I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but there is something missing from this show. I don't know if it's just how modern everything looks. I get that we're in a different time period and there's more opulence and everything, but there was such a feeling of rawness in Game of Thrones that I feel like we'll never get back. And I really do miss that feeling of watching something that's actually old. Like, I actually felt like we were in it. I don't necessarily feel as immersed in this as I did with the first couple episodes of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I feel like you guys might need to go off on me in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. But if some of you agree, let me know. And let me know I'm not super alone in my feelings over here. But I'm enjoying the show thus far. I miss Game of Thrones. I miss it so much. I don't really have much to add with this scene of Viserys and Alicent giving him the gift of the mended dragon for his model, other than the fact that he is clearly hiding a boner once Otto knocks on the door. He's adjusting himself. He has a fucking boner. We're going to skip a couple scenes and just go right to Dragonstone, because the scene was actually so fucking good, man. I just really love any scene that Matt Smith is in at this point. Daemon is clearly my favorite character in the show. I just love how much of a, like, toxic shit he is. But yeah, so he kind of reminds me of my cats when they want to get fed and how they'll just, like, slowly knock shit off of my table. That's pretty much what he's doing with Viserys. He just wants attention. He really just wants attention. He wants approval. He wants to be seen, and this is his way of being seen. And I just love how... Okay, I will give it to Otto. I like how he said that Viserys would never give attention to a mummer's farce. And I was like, all right, Otto, you did that. You kind of did that. But the little exchange between him and Kristen Cole is so funny, because I love that Daemon is just, like, so into the comeback. Like, I feel like Daemon's the type to like a roast. Like, he would love to be the center of a roast on Comedy Central. But yeah, Rhaenyra flying in with Syrax was pretty cool. It was great. I love how she owns the scene, and the chemistry between her and Matt Smith is so good. But you know what? Her father's kind of right here. And I'm going to get dragged. I know this is a badass moment, but her dad's kind of right on this one thing. She should not have gone without telling anyone. And she is his only heir. She cannot just do whatever she wants and just try and go mend things with her uncle and get this dragon egg back without any consequences. Like, I'm kind of glad that Viserys said something to her. I know that she stuck up for herself with him, but I'm sorry, he was kind of right in this situation. Mysaria and Daemon. Well. I don't really know if I like her. She says she wanted to be liberated by him. Definitely the wrong person to do that with. She probably should have waited like 190 years for Daenerys to do that shit in Slaver's Bay. But can we talk about her accent? I don't know what this actress is doing. I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything else. I know that she may have been in Crazy Rich Asians, and she was pretty good in that. But man, her accent, it's rough. It's hard to get through. It's pretty embarrassing. I'm gonna skip the scene with Viserys and Lord Strong, and also the scene with Viserys and Rhaenyra, because I already touched on those subject matters, and I don't want to repeat myself. So we're gonna go to the scene with him and the small council, and him announcing his betrothal to Alicent. And you know what? Viserys just fucking sucks. I'm gonna say it again. He sucks. And he should have told Rhaenyra beforehand, and he should have told Corlys beforehand, because Corlys feels slighted. He definitely thought it was going to be Laena. It should have been Laena. It's probably the best match that anyone could have approached Viserys with. And the fact that he denied it is really absurd. Like Corlys says, it really is absurd. But the look that Otto gives Corlys is just so fucking menacing. And it just solidifies how much I hate that man. But yeah, y'all are in for a ride. I swear y'all are in for a ride. These next few episodes are going to be great. Just saying. So finally we have this scene with Daemon and Corlys. And Corlys is pretty much fully introducing himself as a main character here and letting the audience know, look, I'm a self-made man and no one's going to get in the way of my money. Because the thing with the Stepstones is that you need to sail through them when traveling or shipping things to Driftmark or King's Landing. So the crab feeder is a huge problem for Corlys. And he's upset that Viserys is just trying to skate through his reign without having to, get his hands dirty. So there is a confusing piece of dialogue here, by the way, and I'll actually blame Matt Smith's delivery for it and the direction, because it should have been said differently. He says, I didn't know you had a king for a brother. But he's just being sarcastic here. He's just being a dick. Some people thought Corlys had a brother who was king, and that's just not the case here. But yeah, so Corlys says they're the realm's second sons, and they have to make their own way, which is interesting because Daemon is a literal second son, but Corlys is as well, in the sense that House Valyrian is second to the Targaryens in terms of power. So I love the dialogue in the scene so much. It's fucking great. I also love that Daemon's like, yeah, don't talk shit about my brother. Only I can do that. But yeah, we're about to see these men in action, and I cannot wait. Thank you everyone for coming to my channel and listening to my annoying ass voice again. Hopefully you continue to listen to my annoying ass voice every week. But yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.